Hey guys, Vita here, Blueberry Hill. So here we are. This is September 26th. Jake came over. We did a little bit of work. You might have seen a prior video with the power cable issue. So he helped me dig a hole, find the cable and stuff. And here we are doing our little first panels on the floor. I guess you can call it a test setup. Anyway, we cut the rosette little holes in the thing with a plasma torch, and now we're spot welding them down to the C channels. And Jake's helping push the panel down. They're not, 100% straight, so they're tiny little warpies. But anyway, it worked pretty good. So we use a tractor to actually put the panels on the floor. They're kind of heavy and bulky. So I put all of them that way on the floor. We move them in place, mark the spots where we're supposed to cut the holes for the rosette welds, and then we move on. So Jake's pretty good help on these things. He basically he catches on really fast, so we get on task, and he just kind of takes over where it needs to be, and appreciate his help. It'd be great if he was not up north Austin instead of us in San Marcos, but anyway, here we are. We appreciate his help anytime we can get it. Here, Jake finished doing the plasma cuts, and here we are just doing spot welds on the panels, and then we called it a day for this. As I mentioned earlier, we had a problem with the power cable, so I had to we had to fire up. I think this day we actually have the generator cranked up till I get the fix in place for the power cable. Anyway, moving on. Hey guys, we take here at Blueberry Hill. So here I am. I'm working on putting the floor down on the structure. Jake and Angie were helping the other day. We did our first little test session. Did the first 3 panels on the end of the floor you see me standing on, and I'm just continuing to put the rest of the panels down. It kind of goes pretty quick. I did most of the floor in one day, and then finished welded it the next day. So 3-4 hours a day. I can't remember how much, but anyway, it was pretty easy. Here you see me actually marking the panels for where the holes are cut with the plasma torch, and then I'll move them back into place, and we'll weld them down to the C channels themselves. I did basically spot welded all the panels first, and I went back days later to do the finish weld. That was a lot easier and a little bit quicker in all respects to do that. So the process is simple. Here I am doing the plasma cutting of the where I marked where the C channels go. Once I cut them all out, then I slide it, of course, into place and spot weld it down. So some of these panels are bowed a little bit, so it takes 2 of us to kind of stand there so they don't, so they actually touch the C channel. Then I just spot weld it down. Not really doing fantastic welds here. Hey, you can see me in long pants again. That's kind of, it got cool last couple of days, 1st of October. So it was kind of nice. Wasn't as boiling hot as it usually was when I was working on these things. But Angie's helping me out here, and once I get most of this down, she leaves so I don't burn her with the, the welding torch. Anyway, fun. The coagulation works, they overlap. Since we're going to pour concrete on this, it's, you know, not, I don't think, too critical to seam weld everything or anything like that, but we do make it so it overlaps nicely so the concrete will not leak out. And then probably once we get the this room dried in, we'll be able to cut the rest of the containers for the kitchen and the living area and the hallway, and then we could flood everything with concrete. Part of that process will be actually doing some beam work, and I'll show you that later as well. Here's a nice clear, easy shot of what I'm doing with the welding, the spot welding the panels down first. I went from using the 5/32 rod on this. These are 6013 rods, by the way. I was using the big ones to spot weld, and I went to my 3/32 to do the finish welds on the last day to complete the floor. I had a couple of boxes of the 3/32, so I decided to burn them up and use them for that purpose. It actually worked pretty good because the 5/32, that's a lot of, it works really quick. So it's meant for, you know, filling pretty quick. Anyway, here you see me doing one of the last panels. I got 3 more panels to put down, and the floor will be kind of done. This has to get trimmed more. You can see the overlap is about 2 feet, so I mark it, cut the holes for the welds, the rosette welds, and then cut the panels a fit. And one thing I forgot to do on this one, which you'll see me doing, trim the corner, because the corner of the container is a little bit proud of the C-channel on the bottom of the container. So no big deal. I was trying to pound it in, and then I realized, hey, look, I got to cut a little recess. But little things like that, fun. So here's what I was talking about, the little cutout for the corner of the container. No big deal. It's like a 1 inch, 1.5 by 2 inch little recess I had to do, and then shove the panel in place and put it underneath the C-channel on the container. Pretty easy. A little more panel cutting. You notice I have sacrificial panels underneath this, so I don't burn up the actual floor of the living room. Torch does a great job. Try to do as straight line as possible. It's pretty clean if you go at the right speed. Of course, it gets pretty pukey if you don't. but this is pretty thin stuff. It's a 16th inch or something gauge, I don't know. But anyway, the torch makes it an easy job. Definitely getting there. So this is the we've got probably another two panels to go. Actually one big one and then 3 little ones. The containers are not 100% parallel to each other. Go figure, because you know they were big when we were placing them and stuff. So we were off a couple inches on the 40-foot span. It is what it is. That's exactly what I had to do with the C channels when I was putting them down on the beam. Cut them exactly to where they were placed. So it was what it was. It is what it is. So here I'm cutting the little wedgie panels, I'll call them. They go to on the left container, right against the wall. It's cocked a little bit. It's not bowed terribly, but I think when the panels sit on top of each other, there's a little bit of give and play. They are basically the same things, but they're a little dinged and whatever. So I might not have 100% straight lines in there, but it is what it is. Here's me placing that one in. Here's a second one. I just mark it and go. And then the last piece will go into that corner, and then I'm technically done with the floor except for the finish welding. Yay, cut the last panel, shove it in. Now I'm going to cut the little recess at the corner, which I didn't forget this time, hey, and move on to welding it down. And then I came back to the next day to do the finish welds. And again, I'm using the finish welds. I'm using the 3/32 rod, and I burned through, I guess, 2 5-pound boxes of that, something like that. But anyway, it was all fun. The big hammer was definitely required. There's some dings and dents in these panels, so the harder you can hit it, the better it seems to get. So I had some good exercise doing that. But anyway, again, this job wasn't that difficult. It's just a lot of it, right? It's a 40 by 15 foot floor. So all the panels, we still have probably 20-30 panels left over, probably 30, which we'll do something with, and we'll move on. Anyway, thanks for watching. So here you're going to see me doing the finish welding. You know, I'm not going to share the whole thing, of course. It's a lot of holes. Don't know how many. Didn't count. Anyway, I just continue welding, and then when I finished that, I basically cleaned everything off, and I used that Coro Seal to seal up all the welded areas and any kind of rust-prone areas. The Coro Seal is fantastic stuff. I'm actually very much like using it. It's all the black stuff you see on the containers. That's a neutralized rust, and it's converted to primer, so it's ready for paint. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk at you later. Ciao.